Hey everybody, welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Jack Canfield, and my guest today is Diana Grippo. Diana works in sales for Apple, one of my favorite companies. But today we're going to be talking about an other aspect of her life. You see, Diana has been bipolar for 34 years, and as you can imagine, has had many ups and downs. And now she's written a book called Bipolar Chronicles, which describes her experiences and offers valuable advice about how to combat depression. So welcome to the show, Diana.
Thank you, Jack, so much. It's great to be here.
What inspired you to write Bipolar Chronicles?
I've learned a few things. You see, antidepressants are no-nos for people with bipolar disorder because they can incite a manic episode. We're left to deal with our depressions without antidepressants. And I wanted the book to be educational for family members, those who are suffering, and then to be a source of hope for those who are suffering.
Why do you think bipolar disorder is such a huge problem in our world today?
It's estimated that 46 million people have bipolar disorder, and it's a chemical imbalance characterized by highs and lows. When you're manic, you have a decreased need for sleep, you're wired, you spend and give away a lot of money, and you often engage in self-destructive behavior. Once when I was manic, I drank after 17 years sobriety. Another time when I was manic, I drank after 10 years sobriety. A lot of people with bipolar disorder also have substance abuse problems, and sometimes the substance abuse problems eclipse the illness and you're never properly diagnosed, and that's very sad.
You start your book, it's so engaging, so moving. It's a page turner for sure.
Thank you. Another thing that's helpful are the 12 steps. I've found those to be invaluable in dealing with depression as well. It's a spiritual program, and I believe it's really important to have some sort of spiritual path, but it can really help on the road out of depression. Another coping mechanism I found helpful is dialectical behavior therapy. It was developed by Marsha Linehan, and it deals with things like mindfulness, things like exercising when you feel like lying in bed, and reaching out when you feel like isolating. It's very difficult to think your way out of a depression, but sometimes you can act your way out of a depression.
I'm curious, when did you experience your last manic episode? How long ago was that?
Just recently. I had a manic episode about a month ago, and I was doing some training for work. We had to get up really early, 5 days in a row, and I couldn't go to sleep soon enough. Sometimes people with a mental illness have different circadian rhythms. They can't go to sleep before a certain hour, have trouble waking up before a certain hour, and that's the case with me. And I got sleep deprived, and sleep deprivation is a big no-no for people with bipolar disorders. It can incite a manic episode. And since I work for Apple, I was able to take a paid leave and go to the hospital. Bless Apple.
Yeah, indeed. You discovered music was so important for you.
Well, music has always been a big part of my life. I grew up playing piano, flute, and violin. But what I really love most is to sing. And just music is the language of the soul. And I think it's very important for people not to turn their back on music.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's valuable in that it helps people understand what you're going through, and that you can still be a functioning adult, working in a fabulous company, and that there's a pathway of coping, of healing. So thank you for sharing your book. I really appreciate it. If people want to get your book, where would they find it?
It will be published on Amazon.
Good. And if people want to contact you, perhaps as a speaker, to speak to their group about your experiences, where they find you?
Yeah, I'd love that. They can just go ahead and email me at Diana Grippo, DianaGrippo @gmail.com.
Fabulous.